Alright, welcome back to Decode Traders Hub. It is another day. Yes, it's a Thursday, and we're back here to analyze as usual. Those who know the drill, you already know how we do this. Congrats to everyone that made money yesterday, those who are on VIP signals, and even those that are not actually subscribed to the VIP platform. As of now, let's head over to the analysis. Let's first pray and then head over to the analysis. And those who are already logged on, don't mind, go ahead and share, and to your loved ones, to those that you want them to come around, let them get the link and join us as we get started. All right, let's pray and get started. Father, we give you praise. Thank you for the morning that we have, that you've given out to us. Thank you that we're back here, ready to check the charts, look into the markets, and look for clear entries and exits of these trades, because we know that you are the one that provides them. As we get to the market today, Lord, may you be the one to guide us, be the one to show us the right analysis, the right trend, the right market structures that we need to be looking at for clear entries and exits. We give you praise, Lord, for yesterday's profits, and we want to say thank you even for today's profits. We saying thank you in advance, because we know, Lord, that you can't fail us. You've never failed us, and even it's not about to happen. Even today, we know we will make the money. We give you praise. We love you. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Alright, it's not about us, it's about him. So let's now get started as usual. We start with Crash 500. Crash 500. Crash 500. Alright, so yesterday on Crash 500, where what we saw yesterday, it's right here, Crash 500. Yeah, this is the move. We wanted a change of character right here. That was yesterday's analysis. So when we get here, we look at the buys. But if you go to H4, there's still this other H1 order block, I believe. So yeah, let me first head back to check. Yeah, it's a fair value gap, H1 fair value gap. So there's that H1 fair value gap that we want market to come to. We want market to come to. So yesterday we saw that change of character, but it may be a fake change of character, and this may be just a break of structure. Now that was like a lower high to come, and now look for a lower low right here, because the past two candles of H4, you clearly see them, they were high momentum candles. They had enough momentum into sales. So look at that on H1, even you can see how clear those were. So if this weak support holds up, then probably we may see a reversal, because according to H1, we were oversold since that day. We were oversold, meaning we were supposed to start looking for buys, but then we got a break of structure right here. We got a break of structure right there, and we retested here. That's when we saw the change of character on H1 right there. But as I speak on H4, we haven't seen. Oh yes, we even saw that on H4. It's the same thing. Even on H4, it's the same thing right there, change of character. But then price has reacted back to that weak support. So we want to know. We are waiting now to see if actually this is going to end up being a weak support and being broken out right there, or we will see a reversal starting from that level. So let's wait and see. But as of now, I have no business with it. Yesterday, of course, I made an entry. The entry I never shared because it was the reversal was not yet confirmed. That's why I never shared the signal. So we bought it. We were in a buy. I entered a buy there. It went above the change of character, of course, but then it came back and took me out on my SL in profits. Yeah, it's almost like break even because that was not much. So I entered here and it took me out here, almost break even. Yeah. Alright, so for today, I have no business with it. This move right here, this move, I can just remove it. Oh, these two were still applicable. This one here, where we are, is this one, but then we have this one, this other option to come around this level and give us that buy entry. So for now, nothing I can do about that. We just have to wait. Just a minute. All right, so enough of Crash 500. Let's remove history, go to H1, and then come to Boom 1000. Let's now head over to Boom 1000. So Boom 1000, what happened? Yes, this is what happened. The other day, which was on Tuesday, we anticipated this move. So it actually reached that level, that fair value gap yesterday morning. That's when it reached. But then it gave us a change of character on M15. Yeah, on M15 and M30. But then it was a fake change of character. After that, that's when I realized we had that kind of move on H4. It was like, actually it was even on H1, it was like a rising wedge. So once I understood that, of course I had told guys we made a loss there. Yeah, we made a loss there, that buy. So once I realized that, I did this, and clearly price came to this other order block. That's where price was supposed to come to, this one right here. It's actually this, like that. Yeah, so clearly price came to that order block. So as you can see, when it came to that order block, buys started, but they did not start that. They didn't have that momentum to actually push for buys like we wanted. So after taking me out, deleted something I didn't intend to delete. Get back my order block. So this one can go. It is disrespected now. So after reaching that the intended move, after reaching that level, we saw this, and then price came back, tested the previous low right there. It tested that low, and one can say it actually came to this other order block right there on H1. So price came to that is where we have a resistance. So for now, I can decide to remove this daily order block. Yeah, I can decide to delete it and remain with that H1 order block right there. So price tested that H1 order block. This one was disrespected. We can now delete it. This one is no longer needed. Delete that. And now we want to see today. So what happened? Price tested that. This would be considered as a change of character right there. Then this candlestick that we currently have can be taken as a pullback after that change of character. But since it is H1 and we clearly see we haven't touched that level, being on CCI it hasn't gone to oversold, then one can clearly say we are still having some momentum to sell this. That's the reason why I never gave another entry right here. Yeah, I never gave another entry yesterday for the sell. So for now, I have no business with it because it still has some issues. Clearly you can see that fair value gap on that level is trying to hold a price. So I still think we are still consolidating or accumulating orders. So price is likely to come back down below. Yeah, because according to H1 it's not yet oversold, so it may even let's see on the daily time frame. Daily, okay. H4, what are we seeing? H4, we are seeing that and price is above our 10 MA, which is a good thing now. Okay, if price is above our 10 MA on H4, then price is also above our 10 MA on H1, and then then we can anticipate a pullback if price breaks this level, if price breaks this resistance level right there and then retests back to that will be our entry point to actually continue buying this asset. Down below here, we've just left an order block and a fair value gap has been mitigated right there. You can see it. This one has this candle mitigated this fair value gap. So what we have left is the order block right here only. So if it fails to come all the way back to this order block, then it may not come again. It may actually continue because it has already mitigated that fair value gap, and that would be enough mitigation. So for now, I would only wait to see if price breaks out, then I will anticipate this move to reach this fair value gap and get into buys. If it fails and comes, then it is going to react to this level right there, even touch the support there and then push us back up there. So for now, I have no business with boom 1000. Boom 500. So boom 500, just start from daily time frame. The general trend is a sell. Yeah, the general trend is a sell. Both on H4 and daily time frame, we can clearly see because this is a break of structure right there, and we continued with sells. So as we can clearly see, we have a retest. So we know that here is where we have our breaker block. That's where we have our breaker block. So price is likely to come to this order block, this candlestick here on H4, but I can even break it down to H1 and look at possible retest on this level. So let's go to first go back to H4, look at the high. This is our previous high and low. Okay, that is our previous high and low, and now I can anticipate retest right here. So clearly you will see this order block is in that range, so clearly if I delete that and come a bit lower, I can easily delete this, delete that, everything that is not necessary, we take it out. So on H4, we are looking at a pullback right there, and hopefully, and then we get into sales. That's what we are looking for. We get back into sales. So for now, come to H1. H1 is already in a buy trend, is already trying to give us that retest. If I go to M15, it's a clear, this was a change of character on M15, and that was a clear pullback after that change of character right there, pullback. So if I wanted, I would actually enter right now and put my stop loss down below here. Let's see, go to H1. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if I wanted, I just enter with a buy and put, I would actually wait for a retest, but I may not, since I'm going to be analyzing other assets. Then I'll put my stop loss just below this previous low. There's no liquidity left back here, so that's why this would be my appropriate stop loss level. Just a All right, so now that we know that, that's gonna be my stop loss, and I'll be looking for my TP just about here. That'll be my TP. In fact, I can even put it right here, but it's okay to look at. Yeah, we put it just there. So if it comes there, then I can anticipate my sales. Can add a limit order just around here, around there, then another one just above that, if it goes to look for some liquidity above there. Yeah, so that's how I normally do my things. 2 limit orders, one in the middle of this order block, then the other one above the order block. Yeah. All right, let's leave that. We'll come back to it before we finish today's session, and we see if we are in profits or not. Yeah, so that is one entry there that I can think of, that I can look at, and be confident about for this pullback, on H1 and M15. Yeah. All right, let's now head over to V25S. V25-1S. So what happened on V25-1S? Yesterday's signal, I gave it to you. I gave you that signal live here online as we were analyzing. That was a signal there, a buy. Right there we had our stop loss below this order block, and then it quickly hit our first TP. After hitting the first TP, reacted a bit, then came right here. Actually, if we go to H1, yeah, first TP there, then reacted a bit, went for the second TP. Was it a second? Third? Actually, I think it was a third TP right there. Yeah, second TP was here, second TP was there, was hit also. Then the third TP was all the way up there. It was also hit. This was the move, those who remember this one right here, to reach that level. And now we clearly see that we've reached that intended level. So what do we do now if we've reached that intended level? That clearly we see on H1 we are overbought now, because that is the previous high right there, meaning it is a resistance level currently. If I go to H4, it will be the same thing, but the difference would be maybe looking for sales now, because if I look closely down below here, this level, as if it never touched the oversold level, as if it never touched that oversold. So one can anticipate sales, but looking at what I have, clearly we haven't reached. This candle is going to just close, and clearly you can see that this candle came to mitigate this fair value gap right there on H4. This, yes, another candle has just started. This candle, this H4 buy candle, came and mitigated liquidity. Even though we see it never reached 50% of it, sometimes it can move from that level and continues in the buys. So what do we do now? H4, we never reached what? We never reached the oversold. H1, we are overbought, meaning we need to look for sales. So that can clearly tell us that let's delete everything right here. Delete. remaining. Now put that away. So this is this can be now understood that we are looking for sales to bring us all the way back here. Yes. Why? Because H4 is not yet oversold. H4 is not yet oversold, so it's gonna come back here. It has reached the retracement level on CCI, so we are likely to see sales come again. So go back to daily. What are we looking at daily? Daily, we've been looking for buys. We've been looking for buys, and clearly price is above our 10 MA, and today started as a buy. Today started as a buy, but we are likely to see a pullback. So we need H4 to be clearly oversold, and I'm not sure. Right here, it seems it touched it, it did not touch it, so it's a bit unclear for me right here. But from what I see on H1, I need to look for sales. So what will I do? I can easily wait for this level to be broken out, and that will be my change of character to actually confirm the sell. Yeah, to actually confirm the sell. So all I can do is wait for that, and then I enter the sell to bring me down. Now, if this fails, then if we go to H4, then it will be just a pullback to where we don't see any. Oh yes, that means it will be again just a pullback to come to this fair value gap only, to be another pullback, and then this time probably it will reach the 50% mark. And probably this time it will reach this 50% mark on the fair value gap, and then probably we get to see some buys from there, some continuation of buys from there. Why are we looking at this as an option? Because on H4, this was a change of character right here. Yeah, on H4, that was a change of character. So price has given us a high there. It may even continue. It can even continue up there. Yes, and then it comes down after breaking this resistance, and then it comes down to retest this level, and that's how we can attest that we have changed. We are continuing with the uptrend, and that will be confirming that this one reached the oversold level. So that's why I'm having two options. One option is an H1 option to actually get into a reversal and come back to this level. The other one is on H4 to confirm the reversal in an uptrend. I hope we get the difference there. Alright, enough of that. Just leave it on H1 and let's wait on what will come around. Alright, V75. We made money yesterday on V75. Those who are on Signal's platform, you know that. So this is how we made money yesterday. So price, we knew already according to H1 this was happening. So when it went up but back up there, those who remember I told you the only entry you have is if it breaks out below this and it retests, and then you can enter this short sell, or if price comes back to this level. So that's what we did. When price came back to that level, we made our entries right there, and our stop loss was right above that level, because I knew there was liquidity here for the guys, the institutional traders, to look for. Their stop losses on the early sellers were above there, so they had to first look for that. So everyone who put their stop losses right here, they were taken out. I me and the guys on the VIP, we had our stop losses above there and we were never taken out, and that's how we made this money. So our first TP was right here. This was a second TP right here, but when it reached the first TP, it reacted a bit and it moved me out, and the other second TP was right here, of which I had 2 entries, so I had already taken both of my entries, so I was okay. So I never held to reach the second TP, but clearly it reached the second TP. And those who remember, before I finished yesterday's analysis, I had put a limit order on this fair value gap, and clearly it was activated today morning around, let's see, around what time? Today morning around at 7 a.m. in the morning, it was activated. That limit order was activated, went into a buy, came back, tested, and now we can see prices getting back into a buy. So if you want, you can enter now. And then put your stop loss where. It's a bit tricky. It's looking at H1 being looking at H1 having price below a 10 MA. It's a bit tricky for the buy to confirm the buy, but then on M15 the buy is a bit confirmed, so I wouldn't advise you to enter it right now. Just leave it for a moment there. I have another limit order right here on this order block. This is another order block right here. This is a fair value gap, that is an order block. So that's the reason why I put another limit order right there. But then there's another order block right down below. So that's why I'm saying it's a bit tricky. So if you decide to enter here, it means you're going to have your stop loss all the way here, all the way down here, which will be a bit big. This will be very big. So if you don't have enough capital, you're not supposed to be entering right here. You just rather wait. So this was a limit order, which I thought by the time it does this, H1 will be oversold, but clearly you can see it's not yet. So I'm missing that confirmation there. For me, if it was oversold, I would gladly tell you to enter right here, but clearly it's not oversold, and clearly it's far off from our 10 MA, which gives me a reason not to allow anyone to make an entry for the buy right here, unless if you know you can have your limit orders on these levels, one here, one there, and then you can wait. Yeah, anyway, so that's it. Remove history, delete all this. Our anticipation has reached, but the entry is not clear enough for us to make it. Even though you see my limit order was activated, I don't advise it to enter right there. At least enter right here, because it's likely to continue selling where we are. Even though M15 is saying we need to be looking for buys, because it's giving you a triple bottom right there. All you need, if this level, which is a fair value gap, holds price, all you need is to see the change of character happen on M15, then you know you have an entry. So if this happens like this, like that, and then you get to see a retest, then you can enter from right there and you continue. So I can't afford to give you an entry right here. It's not applicable, it's not advisable, and I condone it. Don't enter right here where I am now. Yes, it is a limit order which I put yesterday, but I don't want to close it, of course, because it is a fair value gap, which is a point of interest for retracement. But again, it's not a clear entry that I advise. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Let's now head over to Jump 50. Just excuse me a moment. Jump 50. Jump 50 is still playing games, so that's why we are not getting any signals yet. Yeah, it left a liquidity right there in that fair value gap. All this, it mitigated it a bit of it right there. If you can see, it mitigated it, almost reached 50%. But if you go to H1, you will okay, it mitigated the one here. Oh, okay, so that's a bit different now, so I can delete this actually. Yeah, first head back to H4. If I head back to H4, I know I'm oversold straight right there. According to CCI, I'm oversold. D1, I've reached oversold, and that's now a clear entry for me. I believe so, since I've seen something like that right there. According to CCI, that would be something significant for me to actually now start to anticipate entry. So what do? M15, I see that CCI is trying to give me sells. It's trying to give me sells. So what do I do here? Change of character here. This liquidity was never taken right here. This fair value, on this order block right there. So it's clearly telling me price is going to come again down. Yeah, price is coming back again down. Yeah, it's gonna come back again down to these levels right there. So all I need is price to get back down, because even as you see on H1, price is still below our 10 MA. It's still below our 10 MA. So I can't do anything right there. M15 is selling, H1 is selling, H4 on the other hand is also selling actually. So yeah, we are still in a downtrend. So I wouldn't rush into looking for buys right now. So it may actually keep like this, consolidating. Oh, wait a minute. It's got to be significant right here. Let's pull out our trend line right there. All right, so this is significant right there. I've deleted that daily order fair value gap, so we already know we are on that fair value gap, so I can delete it anyway. I no longer need it. So go to H1. Yeah, that is a flag. That is clearly a flag. So it tells us the price is coming to here. It's going to come right here, probably right there. So it's going to come right here, and then this will be your sniper entry to push into buys right there. All right, so what do we do? Go to M15. Do we have an entry? No, we don't have an entry. It has come back to the support trend line down below there, so we can wait for probably a pullback. Of which that pullback may be just around which point of interest. Yeah, there's that fair value gap there. Yeah, but there's one here. just above that point of interest is that fair value gap. So price is likely to come back to that big fair value gap, and then it gives us that kind of sell. So let's wait and see if what I'm talking about will actually come around. This is just an anticipation, but we already know price is going to break and continue into sales to come around such a level, and that will be giving us an entry into buys, and that will even give us change of character on such levels right there according to H4. All right, so enough of all this. All I need is to wait for this. I can actually put a sell limit right there on that level if it comes back to it, but also I can actually use my fib and try to determine the exact retracement level of this, which is here on 38.2, and I'll have another limit order waiting right there. So if price pulls back there, my sales will be activated and I'll be making money to bring me all the way to such a level. If it brings me back here, I can take my profits right here. No need to wait to go all the way back here. But we know price is likely to reach that level according to this move that brought us into this consolidation. Enough of jump 50. Let's now head over to jump 25. Jump 25. So jump 25, wait, let's look at it. What happened? So did you actually had an entry? Oh, this was an entry I made last night. Yeah, came to profits, then retested, took me out there. Okay, so let's look at yesterday. What was happening yesterday? Yesterday, yes, I've remembered. Yesterday I told you this was H4 fair value gap. Yes, this was an H4 fair value gap. Then we had a retracement, a resistance up there, and I told you price is likely to break and go up and even give us a fake breakout there to grab what? To grab liquidity above this resistance, above that order block. That is an H1 order block. So that is where mostly liquidity is. Early sellers who enter right in this order block and start to sell. So these guys manipulate market to grab their stop losses above there to actually continue selling later on. So that's what happened. After grabbing it, they started to sell. But then, just like we know, this just alone is not a confirmation of reversal. Yeah, that is not a confirmation of reversal. What confirms reversal mostly is change of character, which change of character will happen right here. So that's why we saw price come back to it, and it gave us a double bottom. a double top right there. And if we were in the market in the morning, early morning, we would have actually made our entry on this very candle. Why that candle? Because that candle is already showing us we are in sales and price is below our 10 MA. That would have been our entry right there to actually have a good entry point. But now it has come back to this resistance level. Price has reacted back to this resistance level where we are currently. So what do? Get back to M15, look at it. That will tell you that we have ourselves a range, and price is probably going to be in a horizontal in a horizontal channel. So if I can delete that, first delete everything right here. For now, we will be waiting for that. So we have ourselves a horizontal channel that is in the making. Price goes up, bounces off from here, goes up, bounces off from here, goes up. So the same thing we can anticipate right here to go back up. Why? M15 is oversold right there, meaning we are anticipating buys. So if I go to M5, I can easily look for an entry. So if I get any change of character on M5, then I can have myself an entry to push me back up there and have that kind of buy to reach that level. So right now I can't tell you to enter because price is below at 10 MA on M15, but if I get a change of character on M5, then I can enter the buy to take me up there. So I leave everything at M5. Jump 10, we have about 8 minutes remaining. Let's look at jump 10 and we call it a day. If you don't mind, please go ahead and like. If you have never subscribed, you can go ahead, of course, and subscribe to jump 10. So we made money yesterday on this asset also. Yeah, this was the entry. First drag this, where's this? Okay, drag it here. So yesterday I was already in a sell. Early morning I was already in a sell, and I took, because I entered right there after price reaching that level, I entered a sell. It was a limit order, and I took my profits right here on that level. And then I told you it was going to go back. In the analysis, I told you it was going to go back. I told you don't enter if you don't see price head back into this fair value gap that is on H1. Yeah, that was on H1. So when price reacted, when price got back into that H1, I told you, those who are on VIP, I immediately gave you an entry. Yeah, that was an entry. First entry was there, and then the second entry was in 50% of that order block right there, you can see, and that was the perfect entry right there. So price started to get into sales, and that was our TP being hit, our first TP. Our second TP was right here on this. Oh yes, no, first TP was here, second TP was here. Second TP was here. Our first TP was right here where I first took my profits. First TP was there, second TP was right here. And excuse me, and all the TP levels were hit. Congrats to those that made money yesterday on this asset. So now let's look at today. So what happened? I'll come back to H4, delete that. This is a change of character retest, then come into sales. So we have a lower low, lower high, lower low. So it's coming back here to give us a lower high on the break of structure, breaker block right there. So it's coming back here, then we get back into sales. So now that we know that, what do we do? What do we do? We see a breakout here to give us a lower low. So it means this resistance is no longer valid. We can take it out, delete everything right there. Yeah, all right. So we have ourselves a trade. We have ourselves a trend that we can anticipate. Pull back there, continuation of sales. Go to M15, and of course M15 is confirming that pullback. So we have a fair value gap there. price can react to that and then we come back into sales, or it can even come back to this break a block or to that break of structure level right there. So that is how we are going to trade this asset today. I can't advise you to enter a buy to get there, but I can advise a sell to come down, because the trend is a downtrend or a sell trend. All right, enough of that. Let's now get back. Let's now look at the recap, and we call it a day. That's how we are going to trade jump 10, and we'll be waiting for that. Let's do the recap, and we call it a day. All right, so we started from crash 500. We said price is likely to continue all the way down below, because this was our analysis yesterday. Price to either react from this level and get us into buys, of which it did, but then it was not enough. Now we can see price is breaking that support, that weak support. So if it continues to break it, then it's gonna come right here. Once it comes right on this level, then we'll be looking for the buys, just like we anticipated yesterday. If it fails and this support holds, then this will be a confirmed change of character, and this will be a retest only back to the order block, and now that means we'll be headed right into the buy trend. All right, boom 1000. We had a change of character. We wanted a pullback right here, and I think we have got one on this candle. It has reached 50%, but we have something that is contradicting, which is right there, and clearly you can see it is matching with what we have on CCI, meaning we are overbought. So what do? This is just waiting. I can easily wait. I want to see breakout there, a retest. If I see that, then I'll be entering. If I fail to see that and I see this move to continue selling according to M15, in fact, if it does this, if it does break that level, then I will know we are still in a sell trend. We haven't changed the trend. Actually, we are still in a downtrend. Yeah, we are still in a downtrend because we haven't gotten any clear change of character. So we are still in a downtrend. So take note of that and know why we are having all these options. All right, boom 500. This was I gave out. We entered this as a signal live. Right now we are looking for buys to take us right there. Why are we looking for the buys? Because we are looking at a retest trade. We are in a downtrend. That is a general trend. So we've gotten a lower low. We've confirmed this is a lower low. So we are looking at the creation of a lower high right there to actually later bring us into sales. That's why we have our sell limits right there to bring us into sales. But right now I entered a buy trend to push for the lower high. So that's why you see we are in a buy. It is currently in floating losses. Yeah, it is currently in floating losses. Let me see when did I enter this. Yeah, I entered it right there. It came back here onto that level, and now it's trying to head back into buys. We will wait and see if it's going to do that. I have my tight stop loss down below here, down below this low. So if it comes back here, then it will take me out, and I'll be okay with the loss. I'll be okay with the loss because it is matching with what I want. All right. Enough of that on boom 500. V25S, we have options. We have two options: price to reach that level grab liquidity there and then retest, and then we continue with the buy. Or price breaks this level to give us a change of character and we see a retest on H1. This move right here, this one here, is for H4. That is an H4 move. Price to continue with the buy and then retest this fair value gap, then we continue with the buy. On H1, if price actually continues with a sell and breaks this level right here, that would be our confirmed change of character. Then we will wait for a retest, then we continue with a sell. As simple as that. And H1 is somehow matching with what we have on CCI, meaning we are likely to see sells. But market can change. We are not market movers, we are market followers. So we just have to follow what the market does. V75, the other limit order has been activated, just like I told you guys to wait. Now this second limit order has been activated and it is in profits. On the other hand, this one right here is in floating losses. There is another limit order on this other order block. So I clearly told you we had these two order blocks. We had this order block and this other order block. This first limit order was on the fair value gap, but price has decided to go even down to this other order block. So it has activated the one on this other order block and it is in some profits. So we can wait and see what happens right here, because according to M15 we are still in a downtrend. So if we see a change of character, of which now this can no longer be the level, we can anticipate that change of character, because now this is a break of structure right here, right there. That is a break of structure right there. So you need to get a new lower high, probably there, and then it fails to create a new lower low, then you can anticipate your change of character from there, from right there, probably. I'm just sketching to show you what I'll be anticipating, what I'll be waiting for. So don't try to have your points right there, your limit orders right there waiting, because it's not a clear level of entry or exit or whatever you want to call it. I'm just sketching to show you something I'll be waiting for. But on the other hand, I've told you it's likely to even continue to this other order block, and that's why you see I have my stop loss below that order block, down below here. So if it continues here and activates that level, that means I'll be having 3 entries in this trade, 1, 2, 3, and my stop losses will be just below here. Alright, enough of V75. This is very simple. Jump 50, we need a retracement right there and then continue with the sell. Why? Because we have a flag here, or call it a channel, an ascending channel, but if you go to H1 it becomes a flag. So pull back there, then entry for the sells to bring us right here. Then we can anticipate buys from that level, because we all know now that we are oversold on H4 and daily time frame. This is daily time frame. We are oversold according to CCI, according to H4. Also CCI shows we are oversold. We need this flag to confirm either double bottom or failure for creation of a new lower low, so that we can anticipate change of character right on such a level. That is how I normally anticipate the market moves, even before they are made, because I'll be looking at my entry points, my entry levels. All right, jump 25. It's a no-go for it. It's a no-go, I believe. We need a pullback, because we have understood that it's likely to become a range, a channel, horizontal channel, so we need price to get back up there. But can we enter it? We said we can wait for a change of character on M5. So if we get any change of character on M5, then you can actually make that entry to reach there. If you don't get any and it keeps on selling, then we have an option. Once it breaks that level, this level, then it will become a change of character on H1, which will confirm sells. Then that means you will just wait for something like this on H1 and you make your entry right there for the sells. All right, lastly is jump 10. We need a pullback there and an entry. It's as clear as that, but I'm not advising any entry of the buys because that's a retest trade and it is very slow. I rather advise for the sells when price gets to such levels, either this level or that level. You'll be seeing the sell momentum coming around. Then you can make your entry for the sells to bring you down below. I think that was very clear, and hopefully you guys have picked one or two assets that you can focus on and capitalize on and make money today as we continue to look at entries and making money together. Let me wish you guys a good day, happy trading day. Please, if you still want to learn the way I analyze and the way I trade, if you think this is not enough for you, what I do every day analyzing for you guys, you can use the number on the screen there and register for the mentorship program, mentorship class. I teach a lot of topics. I teach smart money concept, price action. I teach psychology of trading, everything. So those who have attended, they know the benefits from the class, and of course they know what they've added to their knowledge of trading. So if you want to do that, you have two options. If you want to determine your own time and hours, then you pay $300 and it becomes a one-on-one. If that means I can only take one student at a go. If you on different time frames depending on the schedule, if you want me to determine the time and the hours, then that is $110, and that means I can choose to add another person in the class. I hope you get that. So those are the two options for the mentorship program. So if you're there and you want to learn the same things that I have, that I know, you have that option right there. Let me wish you guys a good day. Those who are on VIP Signals platform, we are still together as we keep on updating and giving you filtered signals until the day ends, as we keep trading together. Let me wish you guys a good day, happy trading. See you guys.
you.